Hey y'all, Dwarf Lord here. Some viewers have asked, what will I be starting in ladder? What will my character be? And I'll tell you at the end of the video for my ladder launch strategy. But first, I want to give you some tips on how you yourself can have a successful ladder start. Whatever your definition of that is. Some people want to go slow. That's cool. But many people, like myself, want to rush. That's what the spirit of ladder is to me. People like me have a life. We just have different priorities. Step one, find a group. Playing in random games is just going to slow you down. Playing with 7 other competent people will get you to hell in several hours. My D2R launch only had a few people who knew what they were doing, and it really only took us like 4 or 5 hours. We had a lot of delays on launch with server crashes. The other people in my group, they hadn't played in years, and one of them thought it'd be a good idea to just stay up all night drinking and not go to bed, and then show up for our launch group hammered and sleepy. They made it to hell. I think they might have died after that, like in real life. Step two, pick your starter class and your build. You might need to pick this prior to joining a group. Some groups might not want your class in their comp. Sorry, Necros, but not all groups will be super hardcore, and they might even let a Necro join. I found my group on JSP, a fantastic Diablo community that some people think is the devil. My group at the time was like 2 Hammonders, one with conviction, one with concentration, 3 sorceresses, 2 assassins, and a barbarian. I think that's 8 people. Anyways, the best ladder starting builds are already known and have been known for nearly 20 years, though people continue to ask that question anyway. Blizzard Sorceress, Hammerden, Trap Assassin, Javzon, Elemental Druid, Poison Necro, and for the few people who really hate themselves, the Barbarian. Luckily, there's a new cheap rune word for the Barb, and Flesh Ripper Dagger is now a great starter weapon too with Blade Mastery. I think that Frenzy would be a good starter build, though Whirlwind and Zerk are good too. New builds that show promise is the Fist of Heaven's Paladin, Boson, and there's a couple others I've seen, such as like a Poison Javzon, as well as Fire Druid, and a bunch of other uh, builds as well. Step 3. You've made it to hell. You say goodbye to your ladder reset group and you hope to never see them again. Just kidding. Some people leave and go their separate ways. Others, I still maintain contact with my couple of my ladder reset group peoples. It's now time to magic find your basic loots. I sold one of the first insights on JSP for 2000 forum gold. These days you can get a Burroon for 500 forum gold. So I value early profit rather than having an insight. I can push my button for mana potions quite all right. I found a Vulge, a Soul Rune, and socketed that baby and sold it when I was level 30. My personal get ahead strategies is just to sell most of the items I find and buy them a few days later for a third of the price. When you are as good as me, you don't need Insight Spirit or Viper Magi to farm bosses. Just kidding. But seriously, if I find an Oculus, I'm selling it to someone for big bucks. Step 4. Once your character is decently geared, it's time to start doing your thing. Most people have a thing they do where they get most of their profit. And this will depend on your character build. This should, of course, already be planned out. You shouldn't be like, what do I do? Maybe you're Zon, farming cows for runes and bases. People are really going to be wanting 4-socket pole arms and now bows for insight mercenaries. Maybe you'll be a sorceress teleporting Mephisto over and over and over again for unique items. Maybe you're a Hammerden or a Fist of Heaven's Pally farming chaos. Maybe you're a barbarian horking Travancore, contemplating your decision to start as a barbarian. Maybe you're a necromancer in the pits, hopefully a poison necro, or a boson in the pits. I made a guide, boson in the pits. It works really well. Maybe you're going to be doing key running and farm keys, and you're probably going to be a sorceress for that. Maybe you'll simply buy keys and sell the torches on a smiter. Maybe you'll be a big crafter and focus on getting high level and trying to make that real big GG craft. Strike it big. Although, to be honest, crafting is more of a week 2 to 3 dealio. But whatever the case may be, you should have a strategy of where you're going to farm, and it kind of depends on what your character is. So here's my plan. Blizzard Sorceress, get her geared in a few hours of play, and then farm Mephisto for uniques and cows for bases. It's all about that base, about that base, about that base with sockets. I'll use the best crappy gear I can find and I'll sell the good stuff. Day 2, I'll rush my barbarian on the second account so I have battle orders. And when I'm bailing him in normal mode, I'll be helping level up the people who tell people like me that they have a life and don't play that much games. You know who I'm talking about. You're welcome for the free runs, by the way. Then on day 2, my mercenaries gear should be yoked enough to kill Countess, who's cold immune, and I'll start Summoner and Neelithawk, hitting Pindle on the way. My game will be Countess, Summoner, maybe Travancore, throw that in every now and then. Mephisto, Pindle, Neelithawk, cows, repeat. Day 3, my sorceress probably has an even better mercenary, and so I'm going to add Diablo into the rotation as well so that the mercenary can kill Lord Decease. Pending on drops, I'll finish leveling my BO Barbarian into a Frenzy Barb to kill the Ubers, or I'll level a Smiter. I think using the Barb would be more efficient. I'll sell torches I don't need and be mostly hunting for a Sorcerer's Torch. That's my basic launch plan. Even though I could buy Burrs day 1, I want to save my form gold and prefer to find my first ones legitimately, rather than just use my massive amount of profit and my big hoarding of forum gold to just buy all the stuff I want. I want to sell the stuff I find to the people who want to spend their forum gold. Once I do eventually get infinity, who knows, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, then I'm going to go Nova and I'm just going to be farming like a cray person. I do plan on making a Dragon Tail Assassin at some point as seen in my video guide. And I think I want to do a boson as well. Thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, comment below. If you like the video, please subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Dwarf Lord out.